Hello everyone, this is Miss G, and welcome to my How to Draw a Character series. Today you're going to learn how to draw Delta. So first things first, you want to start with a circle. Then you're going to make a straight line down the middle for symmetry. You're going to see me make these small lines towards the edges of the circle. This is the beginning of the jawline. From the beginning of the jawline, I'm going to make a triangle shape and get that chin together, like so. Now I'm going to be drawing a couple lines across the face. That's just to let myself know where my eye placements are going to be. And as you can see here, I'm going to start drawing one of the eyes. This character is pretty easy because you only have to draw one of his eyes correctly. And I'm just going to put in the iris shape here real quick. So he's just going to be looking forward. Nothing too hard right now. It's just a U shape. Accidentally made a mark there, but I'm going to actually go over to the mouth shape. And I'm just going to do a bracket type shape at first. Then I cut off that bracket with another larger I suppose more sloped bracket, and I'm gonna give him pointed teeth because yes. You're gonna see in a moment here, I'm gonna extend that symmetry line down and actually curve it towards the top of the face because he has a mask that intersects his face. Going back down to the bottom of the jaw, I make a little point there because the mask is actually a little bit longer than Delta's face. So next thing here is I'm going to make the eye of the mask, quote unquote, and I'm just going to be doing an upside down crescent moon for this shape. Also making a similar crescent shape for the mouth, except it's only half. And then I'm adding a little circle at the end of the mouth for a little cheek. You can see in a moment here, I'm going to start erasing stuff. I don't usually erase stuff for a rough sketch because that's what this is, but I'm going to do so anyway, just to show you guys. Just going in, redoing some stuff and adding some details. Gonna put the pupil in the eye, which is just another oval or circle shape. And then I'm closing that eye just a little bit. Adding just one eyebrow to this guy because again, only half of his face is technically visible. The other half is covered by a mask. I also tried to give him a little bit of an eye bag, but I don't think it looks very good for him, so I took it away. So you're going to see that I'm making a little line towards the top of the head. That's actually going to be where his hair parts. And for Delta, I'm actually going to start on his bangs first. So you're going to see a lot of crescent type shapes. They are mostly going towards the left side of his face, and he gets 3 large crescent shapes that get cut off like this. Then on the other side, I do smaller, thicker crescent shapes, and there's only 2 of them. And honestly, he kind of looks like Justin Bieber right now. I'm going in and cleaning up the jawline or making some more marks down here because I didn't think it looked right. You're also going to see that I'm going to input some ears in here, which top of the ear should start by the top of your eye, and the bottom of the ear should go where that bottom of that eye line I made went, and that's how I make ears. I forgot them before, so I put them in now. Finally getting to the top of the hair so he no longer looks too bald or too much like Justin Bieber. You're going to do some wave shapes. That's usually how I do hair. So he's got this part on the top and 2 waves. And you just kind of keep doing waves towards the bottom. I'm going to stop doing the hair for a second to actually put in some lines where I think the neck of Delta should go. By the way, Delta is a guy, so hopefully that gets across at some point here. And I'm just going to finish up the hair, make it look somewhat natural. You're not going to be able to do this part if you're doing traditional art. But I'm just moving the mouth a little bit because the mask mouth got a little bit too big in my sketch. Here I am messing with the hair shape again, and then here soon I'm actually going to start erasing some of those lines that are not going to be seen underneath his thick head of hair. Delta also has some sideburns or pieces of hair that go in front of his ears, so I'm just putting those in real quick. Again, those are very similar to the shapes that we've done for his hair so far, which are those half crescent shapes. I'm also doing his earring. I'm doing his moon earring, so I start with a circle at the bottom of his ear, put a little line down, make a crescent moon, another circle at the bottom of the crescent moon, and then I do a little triangle. Widening out his shoulders a little bit just because I feel like he needed to be a little bit wider. Then I'm going to be doing a collar, so it's going to look kind of like a Lego brick. So you start at the back, make that square looking thing, and then get some lines going forward diagonally. Make another Lego brick and just kind of cut it off like this. And that's the first part of his collar. Then we're doing the start of the bow tie, so I usually start with a square in the middle of the shirt collar. Then once I get that square in, I'm going to go out with these triangle type shapes and then cut off those triangle type shapes with a little bee looking shape, and then it'll look a little bit like a bow tie. His bow tie also has little straps that come out of it, so I just put in those real quickly. Just make a couple lines that go down. Now we're gonna sketch out his actual popped collar for his coat. So it gets pretty big. You do this semicircle type of look towards the, basically where his jawline starts. And as you saw, I'm bringing it down in kind of a curved manner so that it goes in front of his body. Also made some lines on the neck because it just gives it depth. So another thing that traditional artists can't do is actually hide their rough sketch layer. So if you are doing this traditionally, you probably would want this rough sketch to be a very light pencil drawing. As you can see here, I'm just going over the lines that I did for my rough sketch. I'm just making it look cleaner, which is why I said cleaning up. Just making it so it doesn't look as sketchy. I also put where his nose line would be, but obviously that gets covered up by his mask, so I'll have to do that later. I also realized later that I didn't put in his nose shadow to make sure he had something that looked like a nose, so that will happen at the end of the video. You're gonna see that I added a little line here. I just gave him a little line to show that's his bottom lip. You can also see that I put like a little bite into his iris, which is the colored part of the eye. That's just to make it so it looks like he has some sort of eye shine and he doesn't look, well, dead. I put in some ear details as well. You don't have to do this part. I just figure it makes the ears look a little bit better. So it's looking like, oh, he has that front part and the back part of his ear. You're also going to see in a lot of these recordings that I may actually struggle with my character designs. So hopefully that makes you feel better when you try to draw these, because even though these are characters that I made up and I made the design for, I still don't know how to draw them all the time. or I just mess up drawing them. It's something that happens in art, so do not feel bad for when it happens to you. So you're going to see here that I actually make those layers, or the pictures that I started out with, come back because it's on a different layer, and I'm actually going to color pick from a drawing that I already created with Delta. This way I can get the colors that I exactly want. However, for the people who are doing traditional colors, I will kind of tell you what colors to use for each part. So for Delta's hair, he actually has a light blue. If you are able to do digital art and have a wider range of colors, this light blue will also have a tint of gray in it. So you're going to see in a moment here, I actually color pick from the cheek of this photo, but I'm going to use it for the eye of Delta. That is because I, as an artist, actually like to reuse a lot of the colors that I use in other parts of the drawing. And I think that might be something that you keep in mind when you make your own drawings, or perhaps even your own characters at some point. Just to reuse colors, because it's just going to make your life a whole lot easier. You're going to see here again, I'm color picking from a different area and then using it on something that is not that area from the previous drawing. I'm using the dark gray or the black from the vest to do this earring part. I will also use it for the pupil of the eye, because why not? I'm also using that dark gray for certain parts of the mask, like the eye and mouth. And then obviously I will be using that black for the vest. Again, picking from another area that I am not coloring right away. I'm picking from the bow, that light purple lilac type color. And I'm going to be using that for the crescent earring, and then obviously for the bow tie that I drew. Color picking from something that is finally the same thing, I'm using an even lighter blue than the hair, though for traditional artists you can use the same light blue. And I'm just using that for the shirt, the regular shirt that is underneath his coat. So skin colors are the hardest thing to do, and Delta and anyone who is kind of related to him kind of gets this yellowish skin tone, because guess what? Delta, as a character, doesn't go outside much, so he gets no sun. Nice. For Delta's popped coat collar, I just go in with a light gray. So you're gonna see me do that. Then you're gonna see me go in with a slightly darker gray for the back of that popped collar, just to give it a bit more depth. there's Delta. Yippee! I think I also said at the beginning of this video, but I'm going to say it again. I had to do a little bit more detailing on the nose because, for one, I didn't like how it looked. So basically what I'm doing is I'm color picking and I'm just putting in a shine for what his nose is going to look like, because from the front you can't really see what his nose is. So there it is. And now we have a finished Delta. Hope y'all enjoyed drawing Delta, and please subscribe if you haven't already.